stories about the bright side of education.
Somos Sunnyside!
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Somos Sunnyside. I'm your host, Mr. Jose Gastelum, proud superintendent of the Sunnyside Unified School District, and I really love interviewing our students. Today we come to you from Star Academic High School, and we got another sensational student, another amazing story that we want to highlight and we want to share with our community, our listeners, and more importantly, our students that are coming up through our school system. And so today's guest is Andrea Romero. How are you, Andrea?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right? You nervous?
Yes.
A little bit? There's no cameras here. No need to be nervous, just mics. So, we're gonna talk a little bit about your journey.
Mm-hmm.
I think looking back as students graduate from high school, and especially these last couple days, right? We got graduation is May 21st, and I think some feelings are probably settling in, right? I mean, you got
a lot of
different
nerves.
emotions, nerves.
Yes.
Yeah, you're getting a little nervous.
Very.
So explain those feelings to us. What's bringing these feelings on?
It gets very hectic right now because of finals. This is finals week and everything, and so it's just a lot of nerves.
But you're good to go, right? You're going to kill these finals, right?
Yeah.
Good. See, you're confident, and I can tell in your voice that. But I can see, I know different students are in different situations, right? When it comes to taking finals, when it comes to graduation, when it comes to credits, and so I can see how nerve-wracking it is. We always got that one class that's challenging, right?
Yes.
That's hard, and
Yes.
so, but the good thing about hard is it, we in our organization we talk about always doing hard better, right? So we always have to do hard better because we're going to always have challenges. Anything that we want, any success we want is going to come with its challenges, and so just I want to share with the listeners your journey. How did you get to Star Academic High School? Star Academic High School is one of our 3 high schools in the district.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people forget about it, right? Because it's so small, and we have to do a better job of making sure that the community knows about Star, because it is that diamond in the rough, right, that we talk about. It's an amazing environment here, and students come with just different situations, right? And at the end of the day, you have some great teachers that really care about students. You got leadership that cares about students. And at the end of the day, we want kids to earn that high school diploma. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to support them. So I love that you're another Sunnyside product. Not saying that, students that come from the outside can't be successful, because they also can be successful here, right? But, you went to Santa Clara, Challenger, and then you found your way over here, and then you went to Desert View High School, and then you found your way over here to Star, right? And so tell us a little bit about your journey. What's been your student experience? When we talk about student experience, we talk about, those life-changing situations, those life-changing experiences that have happened along the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not every year is smooth sailing, right? There's challenges, and so talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, my journey to Star was very hectic from middle school, because it was like, I remember that there was like a 2-week break, and then it ended up being like the whole quarter was off because of COVID.
Gotcha.
And then we had to do finals online, and after that 2-week break, I just never saw my friends again.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just very, very hectic,
Mm-hmm.
to say the least. And then I started my freshman year at Desert View online, which is very nerve-wracking, because I didn't get the full freshman experience. And that kind of caused a little issue in my academic part.
Mm-hmm.
And once I did end up going back personally
Mm-hmm.
to Desert View, it was kind of difficult to start interacting with people again, and especially when you were just months and months in a home with so many people that you're trapped with quarantine, and now you're just with a lot of other people with masks, and you can't touch them, you can't be near them that close. It's very different, and it was my freshman year, so I was terrified to start a new school, didn't know where anything was, and was just like not doing great. But then ending my freshman year, I ended up, my family ended up, I ended up going to Primavera because my nana actually got sick. So I offered just to stay home with her, go online. And I thought it was better for my academic part because me trying to go in person to Desert View didn't really work out as much. So I thought going back online would soothe it out, you know, be with family more. That still didn't really make a difference, sadly. Sophomore year was a very hectic and personal year for me. But ending it, I ended up going to Star, I think I want to say the last quarter of my sophomore year. And my brother wanted to go here too, so me and my older brothers transferred at the same time. And it was the ending of my sophomore year, and I was talking to the counselor, the first meeting of my counselor, and which was Miss Stevens at the time. And she was asking me, how many credits do you think I have? And by that freshman year and the sophomore year, trying to think of how many classes I passed, we ended up counting down, and I ended up coming to Star with a .5 credits. So technically I only passed one class, which is, it's very, like hard to get my head around it.
I bet it was super overwhelming in that moment, in that
100%.
situation, right?
Yes.
But look at you now.
Yeah, I'm graduating on time now. I have
Yeah.
caught up with a lot of everything, and it was not stressful at all. Saying that now is a little like, but like me knowing myself from freshman year and knowing myself from when I heard that I only have one, like a half a credit, not even one credit, and I had to get to 22 to graduate in like 2 years, was very nerve-wracking and was like unreal to me. But what Star was like available to, and how their blocks and courses are, it allowed me to do that many classes with no pressure involved. And this last year was a little more of a pressure because I did have to go through many courses at the same time, online and in person, but ended up getting through it. And yeah.
Well, congratulations. I mean, you should feel very, very proud of yourself. I mean, you're graduating third in your class, from someone that had to take that long road of credit recovery. And that's the reason alternative education schools exist, for different situations and challenges like this. And so, you're definitely a breath of fresh air for those, listeners that are in the same situation, and I think the message here is don't give up, right? I mean, be resilient, advocate for yourself. And I really admire how vulnerable you're being right now and sharing your story, because it's hard to share that, right? I mean, it's hard to share, our weaknesses. It's hard to share our challenging situations, but the story here has a happy ending, right? The story here is you are going to earn that degree, and so when I look back, to me, we can't forget that the pandemic was a real thing. I mean, as much as we all want to forget it, the class of 2024, there are pandemic graduates, right? I mean, let's face it. These are the individuals that had the rough transition from 8th grade to 9th grade, and everything was probably still online. We were in masks. We had to. I even forgot all the buzzwords that we had back then. You had to isolate. You had to be so far away from each other, right? And so it just changed the world, right? It's changed life in general. And so this senior class has gone through a lot, and we can't forget it. And I bet when we hear graduation speeches at the end of the year at these graduation ceremonies, we're going to hear this. We're going to hear this. And so, what an accomplishment, to come in, obviously your first year and a half was super challenging, and then you found your way to Star, and you found support. You found those support systems in terms of your teachers. You mentioned your counselor. Um, you had to deal with the pandemic. You had to deal with being that support for your grandmother, right? Taking care of your nana, and so. But I mean, the story here is that anything can be done if you're willing to put the work in,
Yeah.
right? And you're sitting here today, I mean, much more relaxed, and you speak very, very well, super confident, and you're going to graduate a star academic high school lion, and how does that sound?
Sounds very good.
Sounds good, huh? A lot of work. So what are your plans? So you obviously you can definitely knock out some classes, and you definitely got skills of being a great student, and you're finishing third in your class. Talk to us about, once you graduate, what are you thinking of doing? What are your plans? Where have you applied for college, or are you doing something else? What's your
Yeah.
plans?
Well, I started applying this December, which is a little late. I understand that
That's
now.
right. FAFSA was late too this year,
Yes, the
so right, and it's
FAFSA
still
was
late.
delayed
So
so much.
little jab at the FAFSA world over there, whoever's in charge of those things. So all right, well let's rewind. Let's keep it rewind it back here, not lose the focus. So tell us about your college journey. Sorry,
No, you're
a little
fine.
frustrated with FAFSA.
But yeah, so I started applying this December, and I was trying to keep it up to like 5 colleges max because I wasn't trying to get my hopes up, and I was trying to keep it in the range of here, but I want to also leave Tucson, so like maybe Phoenix and stuff like that. So I was trying to keep my range open, and but also not out of state because of the tuition.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
gets
I try
expensive.
yes, and so I try to keep it up to like 5. I ended up applying to 7 total. And weirdly enough, I got into all 7.
Well, why is that
Which,
weird?
because I prepared myself for rejection and I
Okay,
didn't get
okay,
it, which is weird.
yeah.
But I ended up getting, let me see.
But
I
don't,
want to get
but
this
but we don't
wrong.
limit ourselves, right? I mean,
Yes.
you're getting in for a reason. You're not getting into these colleges or being accepted to these colleges because they're desperate for students, right? You're getting in because you fit the requirements.
Yeah.
You put in the work, and when you put in the work, these are the rewards. I mean, and the cool thing is you got options, right? So
Yes.
so tell us more.
I ended up getting into NAU,
Okay,
Catholic
lumberjacks.
University,
All right.
the University of Arizona, of course, New Mexico State,
Nice.
ASU, Western New Mexico, and Eastern Arizona College.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, those are all pretty darn good schools, right?
Yes.
So
Very honored.
what's the verdict? I mean, like, who's the lucky university, who's the lucky school? Have you made a decision? Or are you waiting on FAFSA still?
Sadly, no, I haven't made a decision yet. I'm still waiting. Not on FAFSA, they have finished that.
Oh, they did.
But I'm
Good.
waiting on myself because my personal life is kind of in a shams right now. My mother, or my family technically, is going to be moving to Texas.
Okay.
And they were supposed to be moving last year, but I had convinced them to let me stay at Star so I
Okay.
can finish graduating here, so I don't have to move to another high school. And so yeah, so they're actually in the process of moving right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they'll be done by June.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of a little mess right there.
Yeah.
But I also didn't want to, I wanted to make my own decision on where I wanted to go to college
Yeah.
instead of where my family was going to go.
Absolutely.
And so I'm still in a bind right now where I do want to go.
Well, we got to look out for Andrea, right? So we got to make sure Andrea is taken care of, and I think the important thing is that you make a decision,
Yes.
right? That you make a commitment. And I know I'm kind of coming off a little direct, but sometimes we're not given second chances,
Yes.
right? I mean, and I'm just being honest. I think the hardest thing to do sometimes is committing.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest thing to do. I think for us, when I look at, from a superintendent standpoint, when I look at us as a district, we have students that have amazing opportunities in terms of going to colleges and universities, and they're getting accepted. We're getting accepted at a very high rate. There's always something that happens between high school graduation and the start of college. And there's a couple months in between there, right? And a lot can happen.
Yeah.
Some students start working, we get distracted, and then all of a sudden we don't make a commitment, right? And we're like, and I heard gap year, right? I hate that. I hate hearing gap year because it never existed. And now it's like a buzzword, the gap year. And so it's hard. And I know some people will disagree with me, and that's okay. But I think it's hard to go back, once you let time pass. And I think you got some great momentum.
Yeah.
I mean, you are wanted by these colleges. Obviously, fit the expectation of these colleges and universities, and so, I definitely want to. I know you'll be successful. I mean, you got the grit, you do, and you got that self drive, and I know sometimes life gets challenging, but at the end of the day, you're a young lady now, and you got to take care of you, and be independent. And I would always tell my sisters that, I remember hearing somebody speak when I was at a young age, and coming from a Hispanic background, Mexican American family, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying this, but there's that machismo that comes in where sometimes our young females are brought up to rely on the male, right? Oh, there's male's the breadwinner, and I know I'm opening up a lot of hot topics here, but I always had this conversation with my sisters of like, man, you better not rely on that fool, or that guy, or this dude that you think you're gonna marry, and this and that, right? And so it's important that you take care of yourself. You're independent, and obviously you're super intelligent, and you have a whole future ahead of you. And so I want to talk real quick. There's a couple things I want to cover before we wrap up. One is, what do you plan to study? What do you have an interest right now? Do you have one school you're leaning towards more than the other school? I mean, New Mexico State's kind of close to Texas, but it just depends how, where you want to go. And so, yeah. So what are you thinking of studying, pursuing in terms of your education? And is there a school, that you're leaning towards?
Um, um, in towards the education part, I want to try to pursue social work, be
Okay,
a social worker
perfect.
for a lot of,
For Sunnyside?
yeah,
There
maybe.
you go. Yeah. Come back and see
Maybe.
us.
Um, but yeah, and towards the college part, there are my top three. I
Okay.
can admit do have a top three.
We should have brought like hats and stuff here.
I
Make a choice.
but yeah, so I'm kind of leaning towards Catholic University,
Okay.
NAU, and ASU.
Okay.
Those
All
three
right.
top
All right.
options. Yeah.
So the scum. I mean, Sun Devils. All right. So we're good. The Lumberjacks. Okay, and Catholic U. So that's good. I mean,
Yes.
it's you have options, and you got to feel good about that.
Yes,
Like
I
feel
do.
good about having options. Because not everybody has options. And so the last thing is, what message do you have for incoming seniors, or just students in general, that are struggling out there, right? That are going through tough times, as you did, right? I mean, you went through
Yeah.
some rough periods there. And what's your message to them?
If I would have to give out a message, I
You
would
do.
I would tell them to just be fun, to
Mhm.
just be kids for a long while, because eventually when you do start going into more of the academic part of high school, it's going to get very stressful. Like, no doubt it's going to get very stressful. It's going to have long nights of studying,
Mm-hmm.
finals, midterms, all of that. And the one thing I do regret is losing contact with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
and of having that freshman or sophomore experience of just having fun with friends,
Mm-hmm.
and just being there for your classmates, and just like
Mm-hmm.
being a part of your school, do activities, do volunteer work, just be a part of the community, I would say.
Yeah.
But just be more in the moment than not on your phone.
Yeah. Get
Or
involved, huh?
yes, more get involved, or just like just be with your friends if you don't
Right.
want to get involved in like other stuff. Just
Good.
that's honestly what I regret.
What's the message for those that are struggling, like in the right now, that are struggling and are having second doubts, and because we do have students that sometimes are on the bubble of, do I just stop going to school? Do I drop out? And it pains me to say it,
Yeah.
but what is, because I think, you're definitely an inspiration to them, whether you believe it or not. I mean, just telling us your story. So what's your message to that student that is having a hard time right now?
Go to Star Academic High School.
Boom, what a plug. Jeez, Mr. Torres. Did he pay you to say that? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Well, but why?
Yeah.
Why Star Academic High School? Tell us more.
I mean, you can go to Desert View and Sunnyside. They're
No, but
amazing
let's talk about
schools.
Star. Like, why
But
Star? Why did you say Star? Because what was your experience here?
because, like I said, I have been to Desert View. I got that experience for a
Mhm.
long while, But between Star and those other schools,
Mhm.
I would say that it's not a preferred option, but it's the way to go when you want to just not relax, but to just have a long, like, at ease.
Small
Maybe.
environment,
Yeah,
maybe?
small. It's a very small environment. A lot of the teachers and the staff are like, very communicated towards you. They're like,
Supportive, huh?
yes, very supportive towards you. They learn your names.
Yeah. Here.
Because it is a small campus,
a-
which I also love, because Desert View campus scared me.
Yeah, yeah.
I would get lost every time. And as a freshman, a lot of people would just stand there.
Yeah.
And I get it. But like,
So it's that small environment feel,
yeah.
right? People know your name. You know everybody on campus.
Yes. And the classes, like, it's very different towards Desert View and Sunnyside,
Yeah.
because there's 4 blocks, which
Yeah.
allows you
Different
to just get,
schedule.
yes, 4 classes. It is a little while, because we do get out at like 4.
Right. But you go in later, too.
Yes, we go in later.
Yeah, you get to have your Starbucks and then come
Yeah.
to school, right? So it's, I agree. I mean, I think it's super individualized. They definitely have a plan for each student here, because people, students are in different plans according to where they're at in terms of their graduation, pursuing their
Yes.
graduation. And so, as we wrap up here, one last question. Are you a first generation high school graduate in your family?
No, I am actually the second, though.
The second? Well, that's good.
Yes.
That's
My
good.
mother,
Follow that trend, right?
yes, my mother, Monica Escarcega.
Okay, a little shout out to
Yes,
Monica Escarcega.
she was the first in her
Okay.
family
Okay.
to ever graduate high school
Yeah.
and college.
Yep.
So I'm very proud.
I
to
call
be
those
her
the
daughter.
trendsetters, right?
Yes.
Those people in your family that are the ones, the first ones to have success.
Yes.
Whether it's high school graduation, college graduation, just being successful in whatever they do. They're definitely the trendsetters. And so,
Yes.
any last minute shout outs to teachers, friends, families? I mean, this is your moment, man. We're giving you the hot mic here, and as you drop the mic and leave Star and graduate, a proud lion here. Any shout outs? We don't got 20 minutes, but any
I would
quick
just like to
shout-outs?
thank Miss Bullock, because she put up with me and my procrastination through this whole year. So thank you.
All right. Any shout outs to family, friends?
Thank you to my mother. I would like to say that, because she
Alright.
has given me more than I can ever ask for.
Well, I just want to, end, this session here, this podcast, with congratulating you. Your story is an inspiration. We have a lot of Sunnyside graduates. When I say Sunnyside District graduates,
Mhm.
whether you graduate from Sunnyside, Desert View, or here at Star, that have had different journeys to graduation. But the important thing is that you get here. The important thing is that you care about yourself enough where you're going to go earn your high school diploma and open up doors. And just like you, look, I mean, although you had a slow start, you got after it. You're earning your diploma. You got college, several college options, and you're truly an inspiration. And I hope our listeners, those that are struggling, those that are having different challenges, that there is support out there, right? I mean, there's awesome people out there that want to help you and want you to be successful. And so don't be afraid to ask to the parents, los padres. Also, if you're struggling with your children, or if you have questions, reach out to us, right? Because that's why we are here. That's why we exist, because we're passionate about serving this beautiful community that we call Sunnyside, right? And the families and the students out there, and we want to continue to hear these success stories, and we wish you the very best as you move on from high school. So once again, congratulations to Andrea Romero, as she'll be graduating from Star Academic High School. And that graduation ceremony is on May 21st at Desert View High School at 6 p.m. So don't miss it, everyone out there. In the auditorium. So we'll have air conditioning and all that good stuff, right? So that wraps up this episode of Somos Sunnyside. Hasta la próxima.
Somos Sunnyside.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Somos Sunnyside. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and found it entertaining. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and share our podcast with la comunidad. For updates on future episodes and more, be sure to follow us on social media and visit our website at susd12.org. We appreciate your support and can't wait to have you back for the next episode. Hasta la próxima vez en Somos Sunnyside.